Hello and welcome to another week of Sambo iRacing. We're back in the brand new BMW M2 CS Racing Fixed Edition, this time at Circuito de Navarra Speed Circuit for yet another track guide. If you're new to my channel, what we do is we do a hot lap, a breakdown lap, and then we're back in the cockpit a final time with the driving line on. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Let's get started. Okay, let's start the hot lap. Blasting our way down the main straight here in 5th gear. At the 100, we're going to start our turn in flat, ignore the apex, go out wide, we're going to brake up to about 60%, we're going to slowly lower that off, and then for the final apex of this corner here, drop it down to 2nd. Don't go out too far wide, get back in, going up through the gears here, looking for this rumble strip beginning. That's when we're going to get on the brake. Drop it down to 3rd, rev it out. Nice wide entry, dropping it down to 2nd. Cutting this corner. Back up through the gears. Go nice and wide for turn 8. Using the rumble strip. Dropping it down to 2nd. Getting on the gas. Had a whole heap of oversteer. That wouldn't have sped me up at all. And as we come to turn 9, we're looking for the 50-meter marker. Well, it's actually the 100. Wow. Down to 2nd gear. I could have cut that corner more and probably taken it in 3rd gear. Trying to get all these recorded as quickly as possible. Out to the left-hand side. Again, trailing it off down to the apex, trying to get back on full power as soon as possible. Flat out through the 2nd last corner, and down to 2nd, getting on the power as early as possible here, straightening her up. And there we have it, in a minute. So that was the lap in 150.259. I did only spend sort of 15 minutes doing this, but I think that should be respectable. I've usually got some sort of pace around here. Let's do the breakdown lap. Righty-hoo. Let's do the breakdown lap. Try and rush through it. So we're going to start our turn in flat out at the 100-meter mark. We're not going to be too fussed about cutting this corner because we want to be back over to the left-hand side, and this doesn't have the dexterity of a Formula car. So our braking marker here is kind of tricky, but if you look on the right-hand side, you see the red panel on the siding. So that's my braking marker. So we're braking up to about 60%, and then what we're going to do is gradually release off. We're not, again, wanting to cut too much of this corner because we want to get back out to the outside of 3. We're going to trail it off almost down to nothing, go down through the gears, and then as we approach the 2nd apex, which is actually turn 3, we're going to straighten the wheel up. This is important. Straighten the wheel up, and we're going to brake harder up to sort of 30-40%. Now, if you don't straighten the wheel up when you do that, and you do just increase the braking, all of a sudden you're going to ruin the balance. Your back end's probably going to go out. So you need to straighten it up. Then we're going to release it off, dropping it down to 2nd gear, as I say, and then we're going to try and get back on the gas as soon as possible. We're wanting to cut this corner here on the inside. So our next braking marker, it's just where the green goes to white before the rumble strip is where we're going to brake. And we're going to brake only up to about 40%. And again, a long trail off, dropping it down to 3rd at the apex. And now I'm just going to rev it out here. So I've got the power and the torque underneath me. And then as we get back over to the right-hand side, the entry into 6, again, I'm going to brake up to about 30% and hold it, hold it, hold it. We're wiping all that speed off. Turning in, dropping it down to 2nd gear, cutting some of the corner here on the inside, and then trying to get back up to 100% as soon as possible so we can try and get a faster entry into turn 8, which is coming up here. Now the 50-meter marker, as you can see on the right-hand side, is my next marker, and there I'm braking up to about 80%, trail it off, drop it down to 2nd gear. Now, I actually turned in a tiny bit early, as you can see, because look, I'm mid-corner and I'm hitting 90-degree left hand. That's not ideal before then getting back over to the right-hand side. So maybe turned just that tiny bit later than I did. But this was still my fastest lap at the 10 or so that I did. Right, next braking marker. I said 50 in the hot lap, but I actually think it's just after that 100. Yeah, it is. It always felt like 50. But yeah, we're braking up to about 90%, wiping off all that speed in the straight line. We start trailing off and dropping it down to second gear as we look for the apex. And then again, we're just trying to settle the car before getting back on 100% gas. Back over to the right-hand side. We've got this handy 50-meter marker on the right now, and where the rumble strip begins, that's my braking marker. And I'm braking quite hard there. Briefly up to about 100%. And yeah, I could have taken slightly more curb on the left-hand side, I believe, there. Again, straighten her up, back on full power. And then at the end of this white section that we're on here now, that's when we're braking only up to about 50% this time. Trail it off, drop it into second, and then we're trying to get back onto 100% as early as possible. I'll say the same things. It's because it's the same technique on most corners. Now we're trying to get to the outside, and basically it's the end of the cones here on the right-hand side is going to be our braking marker. And we're braking up to about 90%. As always, trail it off, dropping it down third, and then second gear, trying to get on the gas as early as possible. And there we have it, back on full. Over to the right-hand side, we're going flat through turn 14, such that it is. Cutting the corner and trying to get back over to left-hand side. And the 50-meter marker is going to be our braking marker, or just before that. We're trying to get to the outside, dropping it down, third, second, turning in, and then trying to build back up on the power. I found this quite slippy in this car, but we did get back up to 100% fairly early doors. And that is the breakdown of the new BMW M2 at Circuito de Navarra speed circuit. We have the driving line version coming on next for those people that use it. This is a rookie car. It is a fixed setup. Yeah, I expect quite a lot of you will. Cheers. As always, thanks for the continued support. I've been Sambo iRacing, and I'll see you guys in the week. Cheers.